You know, Activision was bragging about how Call of Duty Black Ops 6 was going to be one of the greatest games over the last 10 years. They bragged about how it had a 4-year development cycle and how it was going to be complete upon release. But after playing it for a few hours, the game is absolute garbage, and I'm going to explain why. Good morning, gentlemen and ladies. RSX Squishy here, and for today's video, I'm finna be giving you my completely non-biased, non-sponsored review of Black Ops 6 and why I think it's trash. Now, I always give non-biased, non-sponsored reviews. I don't shill for Activision like face swag and lie to you about the game and tell you that it's great when it's actually not. Now, if you guys like the honesty, like, comment, subscribe. Trying to get to 6,069 subs. Like, comment, or you are a racist. Now, let's get started with the video. Now, I played the game, and as soon as I loaded it up, I already knew it was going to be trash because the UI, when you first start off, is trash. Now, as soon as you guys start the game, you're presented with like a new menu. It is a little bit more simple than it was before, but it still feels like convoluted. There's still like too much on there. There used to be so much simplicity in the menus where you know, you can just go to the game, you can just go to multiplayer, you can just go to your leaderboards. Now you have to literally go through so many menus, press at least 10 different, sub menus just to get to the leaderboards. Finding your friends and joining your friends and doing all that, it's still such a pain in the ass. I don't know why. Like, I don't know who designs all this UI stuff for Call of Duty that just doesn't work. If you guys ever got a chance to play any of the older Call of Duty games, it's so much simpler now. As soon as I turned the game on and I saw that, I mean, I've been playing Call of Duty for a long time, so it took me only like a few minutes to kind of get used to it. But for anybody else that's new to Call of Duty or doesn't play it that much, it's honestly kind of a pain in the ass. Now, I will say this, once I started the game, the first game that I had, you don't have any classes unlocked or anything, but I was able to use one of the default loadouts. It was a good game, and I always feel like it does that for the very first game until the skill-based matchmaking kicks in. And then after that, holy shit, you have 2 to 3 games that are good when you first start off, and after that, especially if you're playing with the party with people that are good, it just overtakes it, and you keep having the worst lobbies, and the SBMM keeps kicking in to try to get you to a 1 KD. Like, that's its goal. So you don't, if you have like a 2 KD or a 1.5 KD, it does its best to put you in the shittiest lobbies with the worst teammates and like the most try-hard, sweaty MLG CDL players on the other team just to try to bump you down, and it's just not a good experience. Now, skill-based matchmaking isn't going to go anywhere, unfortunately, so I'm not going to just keep talking about this a lot. It is in the game, and it is very apparent, but nonetheless, this wasn't one of the main points that I wanted to talk to you guys today about. One of the main points and one of the main things that I really, really, really hated about this game is the maps. The maps are absolute garbage. I kid you not when I tell you that the maps are just horrible. Now, I'm going to explain why they're horrible. I was playing with my friends, and it's just not me saying it. Like, they also agreed with it too. A lot of people, the randoms that I was playing with, are also agreeing, is that they made, I don't know, I felt like they wanted to make, Shipment and Rust are very popular maps because they're kind of small and there's always, they're very chaotic and stuff. And it feels like they want to make a lot of small maps like that. And the problem, you try to fucking quickscope or snipe on those kind of maps, it's just, you're not going to have fun. It's going to be horrible. There's grenades everywhere. The grenades, for some reason, just feel overpowered. Like, I'm really far from a freaking grenade, and then I'm always dying by them. So that was like really, really annoying. But just the maps in general, the small ones are just really chaotic. There's like nothing going on. It's hard to get on a streak. Honestly, I consider myself a decent player. I'm not saying I'm like one of the greatest ever or I'm like really, really good, but I consider myself a good player. But on the small maps, everything is just too chaotic. The spawns never really got fixed. The spawns, I remember in the beta, were pretty trash, and it's the same thing on these small maps. Again, the spawns don't work. Now, on some of the bigger maps, I think there was maybe 1 or 2 that I probably did like. I'm not gonna lie and just tell you that they're all are horrible, but for the most part, they all sucked. Even the medium-sized maps, they're just too, and I want to use this word, porous. Like, there's so many freaking doors, there's so many freaking windows. Like, there's always like a point of view where someone can just like shoot you, you know what I mean? Like, there's nothing to it. It's just, you know, you go in the middle. If you have a shotgun, you're always gonna like win. And then I don't know, like there was just nothing cool to them, you know what I mean? I feel like maps from before, from like other games, there's always like a few good ones or whatever, and I've never really complained too much on the maps on old games. Like, I mean, some of them were ass and were not good at all, but I don't think I've ever played a Call of Duty game where the maps were as bad as this. Now, you guys try playing it if you guys haven't played it already. If you guys are considering getting the game, the maps are just horrible. They're annoying, and I don't know. It just wasn't my thing. I think that's probably the number one thing that I didn't like. Once I leveled up a little bit, you know, you try to check some of the operators, and this bothers me. They have all these DEI operators. They have like all these lesbian women on there, like butch lesbian. I don't know. It's just not my thing. To me, when I play Call of Duty, I don't want to see lesbians on there, or like, I'm not saying that I don't fucking like lesbian people or like gay people or whatever, but I don't know. It just seems too forced. Like, they're trying to shove all that like DEI stuff down your throat, and I'm like, bro, come on. Like, just put freaking soldiers, make the game realistic. You know, people that are actually in the fucking military, they always want to do like a girl with a fucking bob cut, the fucking smoking a cigarette. Like, shut the fuck up already with all that shit. Nobody cares. Another thing with the game is, and this is, I know it's a different, you know, it's a different, what is it called? Fucking publisher or whatever. But there's Treyarch and there's Infinity Ward. But anytime you play an Infinity Ward game and then you go to play a Treyarch game, the graphics are a significant downgrade. Now, you play Modern Warfare 3, you know, that game has its own flaws or whatever, but the graphics are so much nicer in that game that when you go to play a Treyarch Call of Duty Black Ops 6 game, the graphics, just in this is my opinion, you guys feel free to agree or feel free to disagree or whatever, but they just feel like a significant downgrade. They feel very, very cartoonish, and I feel like that they're not much different from, you know, a Call of Duty Treyarch Black Ops game from 10 years ago. There's been so many advancements in like computers, graphics, and all of that, that when I play a Treyarch game, it just feels very like old. I don't know if that's the proper way to describe what I'm feeling with this game, but I don't know, it feels clunky. Like, the graphics don't look good. The camos, in my opinion, don't look good. The guns look old. I don't know. It's kind of hard to describe it, but I just feel like the graphics and the guns look so much better in the Modern Warfare game that I don't know why they just can't use, you know, that engine and then add out Omni movement to that. I think the game would actually be better. Now, I will say that the Omni movement does seem to work pretty good, and it does seem to work pretty smooth. You do have to change your settings if you've been having problems with it, but it does feel much faster than Modern Warfare 3. Definitely way faster than Modern Warfare 2. It feels like on par with Modern Warfare 2019 as far as the movement. And actually, I'm going to say that it does feel a little bit faster and a little bit smoother than Modern Warfare 2019. So I will give that as a plus for Omni movement. I actually was a fan of it because you can move without kind of getting, you know, fucking stuck like you would, especially in the older, you know, Modern Warfare 2 and Modern Warfare 3 games. These most recent ones, like, they just nerfed movement like crazy. They did not want you to slide cancel or any of that. So I'm glad that movement is actually pretty good. Now, speaking of movement, I will say that they still have penalties for a lot of stuff. They still have penalties if you for example, when you guys aim down your sight, it's a regular speed. If you guys ever try to jump and then aim down your sight, you guys will notice that it's a lot slower, and that's because they call it an aim down sight penalty, because for some reason they don't want you to be jumping in the air and then shooting people, which is stupid. So if you're sniping and you're trying to jump and then shoot, it's freaking horrible and it's freaking slow and it's really annoying. They also didn't remove that stupid ledge hanging mechanic that I hate. Every time you try to climb something, it like hangs for a second before it lets you actually climb. I hope you guys know what I'm trying to talk about here, but that feature is so annoying, and this game is so fast-paced that feature just slows you down and is going to get you killed more than it's actually going to benefit you. I don't know why they don't just have a way to turn that feature off. It's just stupid and I freaking hate it. Aiming, for some reason, it feels off. Like, I feel like they added idle sway like to a lot of guns. Now, there was a video from True Game Data, which is a really good person that you guys should watch, and they talked about how they added more idle sway to snipers, especially right when you scope in, that it's not as accurate. So as soon as you scope in with your sniper, it's not going to center exactly where you're aiming. There's going to be some idle sway, which I'm pretty sure it felt the same for assault rifles and everything else. So it seems like you're going to have to use an attachment or waste an attachment slot to get rid of that idle sway, which I thought it was honestly really, really annoying. So those are my first impressions from the game after a few, I played a few hours, so I played it as soon as it came out. And then, honestly, I'm not going to lie, maybe after like 2 to 3 games, I was already over the game. I don't think this has never happened, even with Call of Duty Vanguard and Modern Warfare 2, which I think were just absolutely horrible. I feel like I played those games for quite a few hours, just to try to like understand everything. And as much as I didn't like it, I still wanted to play the game. Now, when I played this one, Black Ops 6, I kid you not, after 2 to 3 games, I was over it. I already wanted to turn the freaking game off. I was honestly just bored, and the whole time I was just trying to play so I can make content for you guys and everything. So if you guys, again, appreciate the video, like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you guys' thoughts are, if you guys agree with me, if you guys don't. Try to keep it civil. This is just my opinion. I try to be honest with you guys, but I honestly just hate the direction that Call of Duty is going. All this DEI shit, all this chat banning, shadow banning, perma banning people, cheating. There's already cheaters in Black Ops 6. There's a bunch of videos on Twitter already circling around. But if you guys been watching the video up until now, thank you so much. Subscribe. It really, really helps me out, guys. And let's hopefully have a good year with Black Ops 6, and hopefully the game gets better. But honestly, I have my doubts. But again, leave a comment, and thank you for watching if you've been watching up until now.